पॉलिसी बाजार पर 1 करोड़ रुपए का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस केवल 450 रुपए महीने से शुरू। वाव!
Hello and welcome to We the People. It's the last show of 2022 and we could not have picked a more critical topic to focus on. On Christmas Eve, news broke that a 20-year-old actor with a promising career ahead of her, Tunisha Sharma, allegedly died by suicide on the sets of her show, Alibaba Dastan-e-Kabul, on the 24th of December 2022. She was just 20 and left everyone in shock by taking this drastic step of ending her life. Hours after her death, actor, her co-star, her former boyfriend, Sheezan Khan, was arrested in an abetment to suicide case, and he's being questioned to ascertain exactly what happened on the set of that television show in Maharashtra's Palghar district, where his co-star, former girlfriend Tunisha Sharma, died by suicide. Tunisha was reportedly depressed over her breakup with her boyfriend, and while there was no suicide note, Tunisha has reportedly struggled with mental health issues, and she's acknowledged it openly in the past. And it seems, unfortunately, that this young, small-town Chandigarh girl, Tunisha Sharma, has joined a long list of celebrities who have taken their own lives, reportedly over mental health issues, from Robin Williams to Sushant Singh Rajput. But amidst all of this, the conversation in mainstream media and social media somehow doesn't seem to be touching on mental health at all. Why is that? What are we so afraid of that we as a society refuse to take mental health awareness seriously? Joining us on We the People tonight, we have Dr. Anjali Chhabria. She's a mental health therapist, a psychiatrist and director of the Mind Temple Institute of Behavioral Sciences. We have Vikrant Chaturvedi, actor and friend of Tunisha Sharma. He knew the family well. We have Ashutosh, a senior journalist, political analyst. Vikrant, as I said, is a friend of the family. Tunisha Sharma's we'll get you more of our panelists right now, but I want to start with Vikrant, who is a friend of Tunisha's and knew the family. Vikrant, your thoughts. First and foremost, thank you for joining us. It's a very difficult time. I know that as the last rites were conducted, the family was troubled a lot by the press and the invasion of their privacy at this moment of grief. But I just want to get your thoughts first on your friend and family friend.
Thank you so much for calling me for this. I don't know whether I'll qualify being a friend of Tunisha Sharma's because she was much younger than me. I would say I was more of a colleague, and I worked with her for almost 1.5 years on a show in which she was almost like a child actor. She was just beginning, and I was playing the main villain in the show that was called Ashoka, Chakravarti Samrat Ashoka. And I knew her, and I knew her mother, because her mother had got her from Chandigarh, and she was the girl was very promising, very bright, very energetic, very hardworking. She used to live close by, so there were times when I used to drop up down the location, which was pretty far off. It was a regular, very happy, boisterous Punjabi family where she came from. Very ambitious, really hardworking, wanted to do very well, extremely attractive, good actor as well. I don't think one really thought that this is how it's going to end for her. And this is like really unfortunate. She had so much ahead of her. The family is devastated. The mother is a single parent, and she's devastated as well because she was here in Bombay primarily because of Tunisha and her career aspirations, and now it's suddenly a blank in front of her. So it's taking it has really taken a very tough toll on Tunisha and all her friends and all us who are like older than her, but who are very attached to this young girl, that this is what has happened, and we really can't believe in. Yeah. It is actually a very heartbreaking moment for all of us.
It's just so difficult to hear you talk about her mother and what she's probably going through. I mean, it's against the law of nature to have to, cremate or do the last rites of your own children. It should be the other way around. And as you point out, a single mom raising this child. But, Mr. Chaturvedi, in the midst of all of this, as a grieving family, the relatives are demanding that her death be probed as a murder. You have, as you said, a grieving mother. She's alleged that, the former boyfriend cheated and used her daughter. Those are her words in interviews. How does that, how does that play with you as you're an industry insider, and you've probably seen a lot of this in life?
See, the thing is that I don't know where should I begin from. The thing is that this girl has committed suicide. Now, automatically, somehow, people say that anybody who commits suicide has done it out of some kind of depression or anxiety or some kind of mental illness, which also is the topic which we're discussing this now, which may or may not be the case, actually. I mean, I don't think one can really link mental health and suicide in that black and white terms. I mean, there are a lot of people who are suffering from mental health issues who don't want to commit suicide. I mean, suicide is not on their radar. There are other mental health issues like, hypochondria, or kleptomaniacs, or schizophrenics, a lot of people.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Chaturvedi, I asked this because there's an interview that Tunisha had done with the Bombay Times where she talked about her struggles with mental health.
She did say that I'm on some kind of antidepressants, and I read that interview. Now, the thing is, I don't know how true it is. These days, a lot of people say a lot of things at the spur of the moment as well. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that she did commit suicide. Whether it was because of depression or not, one can't be really sure.
Okay.
The mother obviously reacted in a manner in which any parent would. The girl was having a tough time in her relationship. I don't know the details of it, but she did feel cheated and she felt she was wrong. And although there was kind of a separation, but like I said, no separation is really mutual. There's always one party, which is the hurt party. And at the end of the day, how does the hurt party really express herself or himself is up to that party. Not till 11 o'clock, 11:30, the same day she spoke to her mother. They were making plans of going to Chandigarh for Diwali, for Christmas and everything. And in a couple of hours, what transpired on the set, apparently there was a fight or something happened. And so she just went to the makeup room and did what she did. So now what I'm trying to say is that this could also be a very impulsive decision at the spur of the moment when you're not thinking, your mind doesn't think for those crucial 5-10 minutes, and such a big thing happens. It's not that it was something which was very carefully thought about, that I'm going to commit suicide, I'm disappointed with life.
All right, well, this is all... It's all conjecture. We do have a doctor, thankfully, and we'll go across to you. But I do have also the uncle, a grieving uncle joining us, Pavan Sharma, Tunisha Sharma's uncle. So, Pavan ji, मैं आपसे भी पूछना चाहती हूँ, you know, I was talking to Vikrant Chaturvedi, who's a friend of the family, about this interview where she talked about her, Tunisha ने बात की थी उसकी battles with mental health. She said she was suffering from anxiety, she was feeling low, she started working at a very young age, there was a lot of pressure, she says. She lost her father at a very young age, which is a very hard blow for anyone, any young child. There was a fear of not being able to work. वो कह रही थी कि वो medication में भी थी. Mr. Sharma, मैं बस ये पूछना चाहती हूँ कि जब family बात करती है कि what happened, like how did their young child take this awful step, क्या आप लोग बात करते हो कि she struggled with these issues also, और शायद उसके बाद में somebody could have helped her more?
Can I speak in Hindi?
Of course, sir.
Yeah. देखिए, तुनिशा के फादर जब वो सिर्फ 10 साल की थी तभी उनकी डेथ हो गई थी. एंड उसके बाद से वो मुंबई आ गई और उसने तो काफी काम किया उसने. एंड उसके सेट से कभी ऐसी कोई शिकायत नहीं आई कि उसको कोई प्रॉब्लम थी. बट हाँ, उसको एक दो बार कुछ 2-3 साल पहले ऐसे इश्यूज हुए थे. एंजाइटी का थोड़ा बहुत उसको इशू हुआ था. तो वो मुझे लगता है कि टीवी इंडस्ट्री में इतना ज्यादा स्ट्रेस होता है और इतना ज्यादा कंटिन्यूएशन में काम होता है, 12 से 14 घंटे सेट पे रहना होता है, तो ये इश्यूज हो जाते हैं. क्योंकि इंसान एग्जॉस्ट हो जाता है. वो डेली महीने में 30 दिन शूटिंग करना एंड ऑल.
All right, we have Nazir Abdullah, an actor, so he will be best positioned to talk about this. Mr. Abdullah, a young life snuffed out allegedly by suicide over a breakup, not the first in Maximum City. Fans are still to come to terms with the loss of Sushant Singh Rajput. It's disheartening to see such young, talented actors die allegedly due to mental health issues. In the glamour of stardom, does it become hard to notice the signs?
Yeah, it's a very, very sad outcome to such a young girl. I can't actually believe it. I had not even started to work when I was actually 20. I was still trying to figure out. So this is amazing that a lady in her about to be prime, she was not in the prime yet. She's had to lose her life. Awfully sad outcome. But here is what happens, it seems. I have seen it often. We have seen it in the papers. There was a Divya Bharti who was who was slated to be the next Sridevi. She was doing extremely well, but she was working so hard, and I know that for a fact because I had worked with her on Dilasna Hai, and it just wears you down. And she fell over a window after her husband went down, and they had a mild argument, and she used to drink, and also there's a kind of a substance abuse, etc., which helps you to recover and to be stable, but it does not help you in the long run. So the stress ultimately overtakes you, and here is the deal. Every woman, most of the women, they go through this. So when they fall off the cliff, they have a knapsack behind them, they have a parachute, which they can unbutton in a sense, and halfway through realize, oh, I'm falling, this is not good. So they find a way to distract themselves, but sometimes they're not able to do it. The drop is so instant and so fast, and the mind overtakes, the disturbed mind overtakes you so quickly that you don't have the time. I know that this for a fact, that every person who did not expect to commit a suicide, you cannot say. Nobody can say, the mother, the father, the uncle, the friends, because everybody is shocked because they had made plans. They had made plans to go hither, and then suddenly something snaps. Yeah. And it's unfortunate. I'm saying again, that if there's an abetment, there's an abetment, and he should be punished if there's an abetment. This man, absolutely. But here is the deal. They had broken up. She was having issues already. She had a history, and people cannot see this. So people need to be advised. I mean, the people themselves, the actresses need to be advised. Look, whenever you feel odd, take a break. Tell the producer, he will adjust. He doesn't want to lose you. You must take a break. You must seek help in one way or the other.
Is there pressure like that you have to continue to work though? You're saying he will adjust, but there's a lot of money, etc.
They do.
Riding on that, right? Can you take breaks? Can you not show up? Can you say I need a mental health break?
No. You don't just not show up. You say, I have this huge problem. Supposing somebody in her family was to die, she will not come. I've seen that happen.
But big difference. Are we comfortable with talking about mental health? If someone in my family were to die, of course at work I would not come in. But could I come in? Do we have the ability to come and tell your boss that, look, I'm suffering from mental health or from depression?
Absolutely.
Is that a stigma today? I'll go across to Dr.
They understand this. They understand this. If you're able to say, okay, well, it's just a few days, take off.
Okay, I'm not too sure if that's the case.
I am sure. I've seen it happen. Not too much, but the thing is, they don't look at the signals. They think they will manage, and that is where they can go wrong. But she has a history. Remember, she was on antidepressants. That's a serious matter. And obviously, if she has stopped the antidepressants, the depression will go deeper. That's a known fact. Any psychologist will be able to tell you that, madam.
All right. I just want to clarify. I think Mr. Abdullah is referring to the fact that in that article she says, this is a quote taken from her interview in January to the Bombay Times, where she says, while I started a medication, it was affecting her work. So assuming she went off the medication because work in this industry is, it's at all odd hours and times and shifts and days, etc. Suresh Shamlal Gupta is the president of the All India Cine Workers Association. Gupta ji, आपकी association has been protesting about this issue. क्यों? आप पहले उसके बारे में बताइएगा क्यों?
देखो, पहली बात मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा कि तुनिशा कोई डिप्रेस नहीं थी. वो सेट पे उस दिन वो काम कर रही थी और उसका फ्यूचर ब्राइट था. वो अलीबाबा में लीड एक्ट्रेस थी, उसका ग्रोथ अच्छा जा रहा था, वो डिप्रेस नहीं थी. हमारे फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में ना 2 वर्ड को मेंटली सबको प्रिपेयर कर दिया गया. जब भी बॉलीवुड फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की बात आती ना, ये डिप्रेस होगा, इसलिए सुसाइड की, ये लोगों के जहन में डाल दिया गया और इसकी आड़ में सही मर्डर होगा. तो मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा कि ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है. और तुनिशा शर्मा के लिए मैं उस दिन सेट पे गया, मैं वहां लोगों से मिला, स्टूडियो वालों से मिला, वहां के ड्राइवर, सेट पे जो लाइटमैन, सेटिंग, स्पॉट बॉय, मेकअप वाले, बाजू में 4-5 सीरियल चल रहे थे। एट ए टाइम वहां 600 से 700 से 800 लोग मौजूद थे। पब्लिक प्लेस था, पब्लिक प्लेस के अंदर सुसाइड करना पहली बात इम्पॉसिबल होता है। आपने हर बार सुना होगा इंडस्ट्री में किसी ने होटल के रूम में सुसाइड किए, किसी ने के रूम में ली, बेडरूम में किया, लेकिन सेट पे कभी नहीं हुआ है। और दूसरी बात,
Suresh Shamlal Gupta ji, I don't know, I don't think I can allow you to make statements like that on national TV because we have audiences watching. I'll go across to Dr. Chhabria for more on this. मुझे बस आपसे ये पूछना है सर, आपकी एसोसिएशन ये इस बारे में क्यों नहीं बात करती है about the conditions on the set, how there's like maybe a lot of stress for a young child actor. नहीं सर, एक मिनट बस सुनिएगा. This is an opportunity. Tunisha Sharma की case is an opportunity to spread awareness. हमें awareness spread करना चाहिए. आपको नहीं लगता है क्योंकि एक साल पहले सिद्धार्थ सिंह राजपूत की डेथ हुई है, how many more promising actors should we lose like this?
देखो 2 लाख करोड़ का रेवेन्यू जाता है फिल्म इंडस्ट्री से हर साल गवर्नमेंट को, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट कभी भी इंडस्ट्री के लिए कुछ नहीं करती। ये अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर है, ऑर्गेनाइज करने के लिए सरकार सोचती भी नहीं है। मैं मानता हूँ मेंटली डिप्रेस होते हैं, 16-16, 18 घंटे सेट पे काम करते हैं। करियर एक्टर के और एक्ट्रेस के लाइफ बहुत कम होते हैं, एज कम होता है, तो उन्हें उस एज में काम करना होता है। गवर्नमेंट के बाद कई बार ये बात जा चुकी, मैं खुद गवर्नमेंट बॉडी पे हूँ, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ महाराष्ट्र के इंडस्ट्री पे, लेकिन गवर्नमेंट कभी भी वर्कर्स और यहाँ के आर्टिस्ट के लिए कोई भी स्टेप नहीं उठाती है कि उनको ऑर्गेनाइज किया जाए। वो डिप्रेस होते हैं तो उनके लिए कॉल फ्री नंबर लिया, एक कॉल फ्री नंबर रखा जाए, उनके लिए काउंसलिंग के लिए एक पूरे इंडिया में बनाया जाए। आप जब इंडस्ट्री टीवी पे आपको देखने ग्लैमर अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन इंडस्ट्री के लिए आप 1% भी आप काम नहीं करते हो। इसके लिए हमने हर बार मांग की कि इंडस्ट्री को ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में लाया जाए। ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में आने के बाद इंडस्ट्री में जो सुसाइड के केसेस है बहुत कम होते हैं, और हमें ये भी कहा था कि काउंसलिंग सेशन रखा जाए इंडिया लेवल पे हर स्टेट में।
Now you're talking because this is an industry specifically that sees a lot of highs and lows. Your personal life is played out in the public space. You have odd working hours. There's uncertainty of work. Those are the challenges. We see the glamour. We don't see what goes beyond those hours of shooting, the constant pressure of the public, the social media. You can't go to the airport without being photographed. There's a lot of pressure. But Dr. Chhabria, you are our expert. You are the professional here on mental health. Thank you. You've been listening to everybody. But I want to ask you, when you glance at 20-year-old Tunisha's social media feed, you look at jovial posts, upbeat personality. It sounds like it's a fairy tale. She was living at 20, being in a soap star. Though in their interview, she talks about her life not being a bed of roses.
Absolutely. So we need to understand that there was Tunisha, the performer or the actor, and there was Tunisha, the 20-year-old girl who was trying to make her life in spite of the challenges that she has been through, losing a parent at an early age, mental health issues, coming to Mumbai and, entering this difficult industry. And of course, dealing with relationship and stress, So now the thing is that the important topic today is that suicide can happen by anybody, by any youngster.
Even if you're super successful. For a 20-year-old, she's immensely successful. What we're playing out on our screens, I just want to inform our viewers, that was her last post. If we can just go back to that. That was Tunisha's last post. And it was, I think, hours before she died. She wrote, "Those who are driven by passion don't stop." There seems to be like a shadow there behind her smile. So what you see, like you're saying, the performer versus the person inside. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
I hope I didn't break your chain of thought.
No. So the thing is that we need to understand that for every one Tunisha who is a successful girl, there are so many youngsters who are taking their lives by suicide. And that indeed is unfortunate, and that is what we need to highlight. I'm happy that you're discussing this topic, because I hope tomorrow we all wake up without stigma towards mental health issues.
Yes, right? Yes, and we're doing our bit. I want to, Miss Ashantosh joins us. Ashantosh, the other depressing angle to this story. Let's just play up that picture that she posted of her and her former boyfriend. Meanwhile, Tunisha's former boyfriend Sheezan Khan has reportedly told the police that he was disturbed by the atmosphere in the country that emerged after the gruesome murder of Sadda Punjab, allegedly by her live-in partner, and so he decided to end that relationship. Can we just play up that picture that she posted of her and Sheezan Khan on account of the fact, he says he chose to end this relationship because of the fact that they belong to different communities and because of the age gap. She was 20, he was reportedly 28. Ashutosh, be it Tunisha Sharma or Sushant Singh Rajput, can we get that picture up, please? Be it Tunisha Sharma, Ashutosh or Sushant Singh Rajput, we seem to be focusing on everything but mental health. And largely, I want to ask you as a journalist, it's the media that's to blame in this case. Ashutosh, just unmute.
Shara, the sad part is that Indian television industry is still not mature enough to deal a subject like this. And we still believe in sensationalizing the stories, and we still believe in pronouncing somebody guilty without being convicted. And that's a sad part of it. And unfortunately, mental health is an issue which is, I think, most of the TV channels, most of the TV editors are not even familiar with. And I'm saying with with honesty. Secondly, this industry is run by TRPs. Unfortunately, there is an understanding within the industry itself that the mental health is an issue which will not get you TRPs, which will not take you anywhere. So in this hyper competitive television industry, only those issues are discussed and only those issues are played on TV channels which gets them TRPs. And in that context, there is no space for mental health. And unfortunately, today we are living in such a deeply competitive atmosphere that these are the issues which needs to be understood. We claim to live in a society which is highly interconnected, but unfortunately all the kids and all the grown-ups, they live in their own worlds, and which is totally secluded from the outer world.
But I want to just, I finally got that photo up again, Ashutosh, that the whole love jihad so-called bogey and angle that's been played. Because if you look at this picture on the outside, and of course, you know, we don't know what's actually going on, but she's posted this with a very loving tribute about her boyfriend. They seem to be in a happy, healthy, supportive relationship. It's just sad that we're doing this to so many possibly out there young couples who are not giving each other a shot because of the coverage, for example, of the Sadda Punjab case.
See, love jihad, if you go into the history of the love jihad, it is probably one of the biggest fake narrative which has been played out on in this country. And you go to the top ministers and the cabinet ministers and the top party officials, they just love to talk about love jihad. Unfortunately, there is no evidence that there is an existence of love jihad in this country. This matter has gone to the court.
And you're right, it's the politicians that jumped in on it first, claiming this bogey, and then of course the media followed as per script. Dr. Chhabria, I want to just ask you again, you know, there's an actor, Vishal Jetwa, who has posted on Instagram saying when he met Tunisha a few days ago, he noticed a tattoo on her hand which said, "Love about everything." That's when I wanted to tell her, why don't you change it to self-love about everything? And I regret not having said this to her. What can you say to young people? We have a full audience over here today about self-love, about Sorry, go ahead.
So, you know, unfortunately, what happens is that when we grow up, we think that it's only when we find love in the other person or the other person is going to love us, you know, that our life is going to be complete. And we grow up looking for that soulmate, you know, but unfortunately, relationships break for so many reasons. And this, I think, has to be taught to us in school, in colleges, that we do not need to wait for someone else to love us. The love has to begin from within, and I am the most important person to myself. And I should be taught to deal with failure, you know, whether it is failure in school, academics, or whether it is failure in relationships. And a failure may happen, and that does not mean that my life has ended. So that is something
Absolutely. I think,
very,
I
very
hope
important.
everyone is listening. There's more to this. It's easier for us to say, Dr. Chabria, last word, suicide to a large extent is preventable. It's a tragedy that's preventable. What are the warning signs? What are the red flags? What are the pleas for help?
So first of all, we need to understand that there could be different types of people who end their lives by suicide. So one is that they may talk about it. A lot of people, the preventable ones, are the ones who will say, I don't like life is not worth living, and their friends may recognize these signs. Either they withdraw from people or they get into substance abuse, and they may just be, showing as very excitable people, but actually you look into their eyes and they look sad. Sleep, when you lose your sleep, please do not start taking medicines for sleep or start abusing alcohol to sleep and take coffee to wake up. So these are some of the things that we need to look at. And of course, trying episodes, withdrawing from the world, getting off social networking groups, not landing up for work, or immersing yourself in work so much that you just do not want to look at the rest of the world. But the most important thing is that 7 out of 10 people say that they may end their lives. Of course, there could be people who may suddenly, impulsively decide to kill themselves.
Well, anyway, ऐसे करने की क्या जरूरत थी? Is doc going to cut it anymore? We need to be more sensitive as a society. We need to educate ourselves on things like depression and anxiety to understand how it affects people. Let's normalize conversations about mental health. I just want to add that we do have a post. This is the first time Sheezan Khan's family has spoken out. His sisters have put up a post on Instagram. I'm just going to read it out. It says, it breaks our heart how our silence has been understood as weakness. Where is the common sense of all of the masses? For all the people demeaning Sheezan, ask yourself this: are you talking based on the situation, or are you talking out of hate for a religion? Stay woke, people. He says, we also notice and we're thankful for the masses as well as media portals who are able to see through the false narratives. We need more people like you. It is upsetting to see these people relentlessly malign Sheezan this way, from making up stories to dragging religion into the matter. For 15 minutes of fame, the situation has really revealed how nasty some humans can get to defame someone. God bless Tunisha. We hope she is in a better state now. All right. So, but basically she says the journalism standards of a certain section of media have stooped so low that it only functions based on TRP, which is what Ashutosh was talking about now. And you are their consumer. It is equally your responsibility to report news with unreliable sources. Don't be fooled is a message they've put out on their Instagram post. But thank you so much. People are facing mental health issues more than ever. Post-COVID, the stigma for seeking help perhaps has been reduced a little, but still many people see it as a weakness. In 2023, let's all try and be kind. Let's all try and be aware. Let's all reach out to people who we think may be asking for help. Thank you all for joining us on We the People.